Hello staff and students. Today I will be discussing the pros and cons of cooperative learning. Whether you're a student or a teacher, cooperative learning is capable of producing both negative and positive effects. So you have a better understanding of these effects. Let's begin by exploring the positive effects of cooperative learning on students. Cooperative learning can do so many good things for students. It can help students come out of their shell and meet new friends. It can help them memorize information better. And it can help students work in groups better. According to Cooperative Learning in Mathematics by Kelly Dwyer, cooperative learning is said to improve life skills, social skills, boost self-esteem, improve relations among students, especially minorities. And also, it can help students become more tactful, and it can also teach these young students to manage conflict a bit better. Some people may say that cooperative learning only produces negative effects in the classroom, but this isn't the case. Research studied by the Kagan Company shows that cooperative learning can lead to higher academic success. Now that you see that cooperative learning can help out students in the classroom, let's transition and study the negative effects on students. I'm going to cite Dwyer again here. Group grades can lead to tension, which means that, let's say, you have 4 students. They all receive the same grade, right? Well, let's say these 2 were doing all their work, and these 2 weren't. If they get a bad grade, is that really fair to these 2 students who were doing the work? No. That kind of thing can lead to tension among group members, and often conflict can erupt. Next, off-task behavior is often observed, which means students are just talking about things that are irrelevant to the topic. Students that hold the group back, usually your lower achievers, they can be mistreated often. Next, some students depend on others way too much. The lower achievers usually depend on the higher achievers and just cheat off of them. And like I said earlier, some students just don't pull their weight. Some may believe that cooperative learning produces better academic results for all types of students, but that is not true. According to research studied by Mary Hall, students who prefer to work alone, and I quote, are evident statistically higher mean lesson test scores than those who were identified as preferring to learn with peers. This means a group of students were asked, hey, do you like learning in groups or do you like learning alone? And those who said they liked learning alone actually had higher average test scores than those who wanted to learn in peers. This just shows you that cooperative learning sometimes isn't the best answer. Next, since you heard the student side of things, let's talk about the pros and cons for teachers. Let's begin by speaking about the pros. I like to see the opinion of teachers, so I got opinions from teacher Rob Franks. He says that when he did cooperative learning activities in his class, his attendance rates went up. And what kind of teacher doesn't want all their kids in class? Next, his students pay more attention. This means that they weren't talking as much, they were more focused on their work because they knew that they were going to need that information for their activities later. And also, students came up with more innovative solutions to problems than they used to. This is because the students collaborate more and really push themselves to get their answers to the next level. Next, let's examine the cons for teachers. Cooperative learning activities can be very stressful for teachers, especially, like according to Kagan.com, if neighboring teachers or the principal aren't aware of your intentions and they walk in and see you just playing games, they won't know that they're cooperative learning games. They're just going to assume that you're playing games and are off task. That can end badly. Also, students may get rowdy. When you give them permission to talk, it's very likely that they'll get a little out of control. And next, let's go back to Rob Franks here. He says it keeps you on your toes because you're always watching who's doing what, if they're on task, if they're learning. And also, it takes time to prepare for labs. So if you're one of those teachers that has a lot of lesson plans and is busy all the time, cooperative learning might be a small challenge for you. After exploring the positive and negative effects of cooperative learning for students and teachers, it is easy to see that there are both negative and positive effects to cooperative learning. If cooperative learning is conducted properly and all students are on board, it can go well. If this is not the case, activities can turn into nightmares. Even if cooperative learning is conducted properly, though, some students just simply don't like it, and it's not their style of learning. Overall, there are too many pros and cons to cooperative learning to really determine if it is the best method of education. Thank you.